So hey there, welcome back to the channel, and in this tutorial I am going to show you how you can make this cool minimal effect to your image to make a minimal poster or minimal flyer to increase much more value to your image, and if you want you can use it for your product or anything like that. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so we are now inside Photoshop and I have already have my image here dragged out. So in this image now I'm gonna do some adjustment to make it look like much more vintage kind of look. So go to the adjustment layer and go select solid layer and choose a color to something like yellow or light yellow tint, and give it to soft light or overlay, but I'm just gonna go with the multiply option because multiply just gives a little bit look, also like decreasing some tint. You can also choose the color like if you want, but I'm just gonna with light yellow. It looks good, but let's decrease it somewhere around 50%. So let's so in solid layer color option, let's just go to the curves adjustment from the adjustment layer and adjust it a little bit, like give it a little bit dark, but and decrease the amount of that so it doesn't look like much overdue, and increase the vibrance to somewhere around 37, so it looks much more, the color looks much more popped out. So there you go, it looks now much more popped out in the shirt, in the skin, and also into the uh, flower. So now let's add some uh, text. So I'm gonna type a random word, so in this case let's just type something like rice, um, but let's just change the font to something that can look like, you're actually just gonna use it to like a sort of like a magazine type of font. So let's type rise and decrease the font size, but before that choose something like a light yellow tint, like light orange tint in this case would be good, and choose something like 60. That works pretty fine, and place it to somewhere suitable, something like bottom corner. I think that looks good. So after placing, I'm just gonna press just do another text. Let's just say something random, another text, and type something like summer or something like that, since this picture has a daylight scenario. And inside the text option, let's select a different text, this time not the same, so it doesn't look like too much identical. Let's just type something like end of the summer, end of summer, and there you go, it looks good. But now decrease the font like a lot. So I'm just gonna press it to right corner to the bottom, and let's just place it to somewhere. Okay, oops, sorry. So let's place it to somewhere there, and also decrease it a little bit so it doesn't look much more increased size. So I think that looks good, and yeah, it is almost ready. Like it almost looks like one of those fashion model cover photos. So now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna just apply some brush to the flowers so it will look like much more highlighted. Select a lighter yellow tone, and with a flow of somewhere around 50, let's paint over the flowers, increase the brush size, and before that decrease the flow, and just paint over the flower, and we'll just change the blending mode to somewhere like soft light, and decrease it so it doesn't look like over much, and copy the layer, and this time change it to something like screen, and decrease it significantly so it doesn't look much more overshaped. There is some affecting on the girl's face, so make a mask and brush over the areas that you want to be erased. So we're done. Now let's merge the layer and apply a camera raw filter, which is the most important part of this tutorial. apply some detail. For this example, sharpness, go to the texture, and add some clarity too, but don't do too much. It will just make the image lose much more detail. So give it some highlights, lose some contrast, and go to the most important part, add some grain, so it will look like vintage retro type of thing. Go to the color grading and give it tone that fits, looks like something that is a retro cover or something like that. And my suggestion is going something around yellow, as yellow represents a sort of like vintage type of vibe. So when you are done, select all the adjustment that you made, and group them in a group, name them something like adjustment in this case, so we can see before and after. So here is the before, and here is the after. There you go. So this is how you can make a cool vintage looking minimal poster inside Photoshop using any kind of pictures of your stock photo, or even you can do your own business photo or your personal photos. And this is a very useful trick to actually have some meaningful minimal poster with some great depth of color and some great tone of text too. So if you like this tutorial, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'm coming more with tutorials on the weekends, so I hope to see you on the next one. Have a nice day.